Hello and welcome to another edition of Business and Financial Raw Talk and No Holds Barred Forum for Leaders and Innovators. I am LaWanna Bradford, principal of the Bradford Group Consulting, as well as Chief Operating Officer of the Bradford Group. And I am so excited to be here with you tonight. And guess what? I am solo. I do not have a guest on, but I have a very important message around our finances and managing our money. Because we know that if we take care of ourselves today, our future self is going to thank us for that. But ladies, sometimes we can get a little ahead of ourselves when it comes to planning and cutting costs. And we tend to, at times, and men can get involved with this as well, cut costs where it ends up costing us more than what we thought we were going to save. I want to tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was experiencing a little leak coming from my pipe leading to my water heater. And I spoke to a friend of mine who was in construction management. She said, LaWanna, I believe it might be a pressure valve problem. You might want to just have a licensed plumber come out, check everything, make sure everything's fine. And I said, okay. But I said, okay, I'm nodding okay, but that wasn't what I was going to do. So I contacted another friend of mine who I knew did a lot of DIY things around his home. And I asked him, and he came by and he said, this isn't a pressure valve problem. He said, it's just, there's times when, the pipes, PVC pipes, become a little old. And he said, it may be a little brittle around there. So what I'm going to do is, he said, it's not going to be an issue. I'm going to replace the pipes and seal it and everything will be fine. And I said, are you certain it's not a pressure valve problem? He goes, it's not a pressure valve problem. He said, you don't want to go and have a plumber come out and then you've got this paying for a pressure valve. He said, this is literally going to cost you about 10 to 12 bucks max for the supplies. I'm not going to charge you. It's not going to be an issue. So I thought, that's good. Again, not listening to the expert, but listening to someone who I thought, I think I trust them a little bit more with this. So we got it all fixed. There was no leaks. We waited a while. He said, see, all is good. And I said, great. He leaves. About an hour later, I hear this loud explosion. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is that? I run, I open the door, and hot water is spewing all over the place. So needless to say, my attempts to save on the dollars ended up costing me not just a couple hundred of dollars that it would have originally cost had I hired a plumber to come out, a professional, but it ended up costing me thousands of dollars. Why? Because not only did I have water damage that had to be repaired, but I had to have a new water heater, a new expansion tank. Because it was a pressure valve problem, it created other plumbing problems in the house that needed to be repaired. So again, because I was so penny wise, I had experienced the dollar demise. So what would have cost me maybe $250, $300 at the most, ended up costing me almost about $4,200. $4,200. And I share that story with you to say, how often have we made some foolhardy decisions thinking that, well, if I just do this myself, or maybe if I go with someone who's not as expensive, that might be the right thing. And sometimes those not as expensive individuals we go to may be individuals who are not really professional or licensed in a particular field. And then we get disappointed that we've invested money into something and we didn't get our return. Or we invested our money into something and it didn't work the way we expected it to work. And we have no recourse, right? Because we said, yes, go ahead and do it. I know you are not the expert, but go ahead and do it. So I share that with you to say that part of our moving forward in managing our money and creating the sustainability that we want today and the security tomorrow starts with our mindset, starts with understanding how money works. It starts with also making the best decisions possible. And the best decisions are made once you are informed and aware. once you're able to weigh the cost, weigh the risk. See, I didn't really weigh the risk. I weighed the risk of I don't want to pay this amount of money. But I didn't do the what if he's wrong? What could that actually end up costing me? What if it really is a pressure valve problem? What does that mean? And so I one of the things that I want to encourage you as you think about how you're managing your money and your budgets and even spending them when we're making those purchase decisions, is it are we factoring in everything? Are we weighing the cost? Are we putting our money into putting more into depreciating assets than we are into, and I'm saying they're not assets if they're depreciating, but really in depreciating lanes rather than in assets that will make us money? Are we seeking unwise counsel rather than consulting those that are experts and then saying, okay, what is it that I can do? How can I manage this? I'm really excited to be part of an amazing lineup of speakers this year. This is going to be our third annual financial wellness boot camp for women. And I have a passion about women and finances because I know what it's like to feel like you are riding the wave of abundance. Life is great, everything is easy and flowing. And then the rug comes from under you, called the 2007 2008 crisis, and being in the mortgage industry and seeing everything that I had just starting to slip through my hands to the point that I started to wonder, am I even going to be able to keep the roof over my head? And because of that realization, I realized that life can happen. You can do all the right things. You can cross all the T's and dot all the I's, and things can still happen. But the one thing that I learned through that is we can better insulate ourselves. We can insulate ourselves in a way that enables us to bear some of the pressure that may come and or rebound in a way that enables us to still reach our financial goals. Even though I went through those challenges, I'm glad that I had the knowledge. I'm glad that I had the resources and the team around me to help guide me as I was rebuilding. And that's what we're bringing to you at this Financial Wellness Boot Camp is a group of experts who are financial experts in their own lanes to provide you with information on understanding your mindset, but from a standpoint of allowing and realizing that you are truly deserving of all that you want. But once you have that awareness, then what? Because there is an awareness and then there's a practical application that has to come with it. We'll also be talking about credit, but credit from the standpoint of understanding how powerful it is as that cornerstone for building generational wealth. We'll be talking about life insurance, but not so much from the death benefit, but understanding it as a key component of your financial portfolio and how you can use it today to even start to build and accelerate investment strategies for yourself. We're going to go into some of the mistakes that we make. Like I just shared with you one of the crazy mistakes that I made, and I've made many others. But how do you say, okay, I've made them, that was in the past, I'm now more aware, more informed, let me forgive myself, let me give myself some grace, and how do we move on and move beyond that? Because there is resiliency that we can tap into. And then we're going to talk about understanding your largest investment that most people will ever make, which is a home purchase or any sort of property investment, and how you can understand some critical documents that many people gloss over. And it's okay because you've got a huge stack, right? But how can you understand some key pieces in order to create opportunity to enhance savings for yourself, to build that financial future? And then lastly, we're going to talk about that future self, that beautiful golden age version of you. And we want you to ask yourself the questions: who is she? What is she doing? What does she look like? Is she healthy? Is she happy? Did you do the right thing now, the right things today to take care of her tomorrow? See, this financial wellness boot camp is a little bit different from your typical boot camps. This boot camp is designed to stretch you a little bit in what you think about money, how you use money, what you think about yourself, and even forgiving yourself for the mistakes that you've made. Expanding your level of literacy and understanding that when you enter into contractual agreements like a mortgage, it's important to read the fine print and understand what it is that you're signing. It's also about surrounding yourself with experts who can help guide you as you move through your financial course of life. So think about how much simpler and how less stress you'd have to carry if you trust the experts. I mean, these are individuals who've been educated and who have worked tirelessly in these lanes. Now, you can choose to go to Google University if you want, or try to become an expert in all these lanes, but I figure, why? Would you try to, and sometimes I guess we do, I was going to say, would you try to self-diagnose yourself medically? Well, unfortunately, the internet gives us that ability to try to do that at times. But let me put it this way. If you did self-diagnose yourself and you realize that you needed surgery, would you perform surgery on yourself? And the answer is absolutely not. Well, that's no different than when we're talking about creating your finances and building a plan with that surgical precision. You want to surround yourself with the experts because you're part of that team to understand where you are today. Where do you want to be? What are some of the deficits that are there? And how can we create a bridge that meets with your current lifestyle, that allows you to create some sacrifices, yet still enjoy the pleasures of life while building the dream that you want? One thing I love about Jacqueline Young Landy, who is part of our Celebrate You community, and she wrote a book called It Is Not a Practice Life. She truly believes that you can come from a place of immense lack, and with your desire, with faith, and with taking the right steps, you can achieve the lifestyle that you want, the lifestyle that's designed for you. Les Brown tells us we're all designed for greatness, that we have greatness within us. But it's about believing it. It's tapping into that genius and allowing it to expand and express itself for the world. We know that we can go fast by ourselves, but we can go farther together. So our financial wellness boot camp is designed to create a collaboration of financial, I like to call us wizards, who are going to come in and are going to share insights with you based upon what's happening today. Pandemic has created a lot of shifts and changes. People are stressed and burdened. And we're going to have some talks about that and hopefully give your mind a little bit of ease in knowing what you can do and what are some of the best steps and strategies for you and your family. One of the things that Tracy Oriami reminds us is that women often would rather talk about death than they would money. And we want to become women who are very comfortable and very literate in talking about money, in sharing insights with each other, so that collectively, we as a global sisterhood can elevate, can rise financially. Because you know what, ladies? When we do that, we're improving not only our lives, but our families. We're improving our communities. and we're creating opportunities for the next generation. How powerful is that? But we have to be willing to not just have a seat at the table, but to have a voice at the table. And that voice comes with understanding, knowing what's coming in, knowing what's going out, knowing that money is energy, but it will do exactly what you tell it to do, knowing how to strategize in order for it to make more money for you, what it means to have multiple income streams. Because the last thing we want is to have one well dry up, right? And then we're just out of luck. Multiple streams, does that mean that you're working tirelessly and never sleeping and never enjoying life? No. There again are strategies and ways in which to do that. But it's scalable. I could say so much more, but I want to wait until the boot camp because I'm so excited that this is our third annual boot camp. And I want to give a special thank you to Dr. Tamara Patzer, who is my publicist for the Bradford Group and has really just been a strong support with us and getting the message out there as far as creating that springboard of financial awareness for women. I really thank her for her insight and guidance on how we can position to increase greater awareness so that women collectively come together to make a difference, to make a change, to be the change that we wish to see in the world. Within our community, Celebrate You, Women Embracing Wellness, it is about embracing the total woman, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially, because we know it takes money. And this isn't about saying that if you don't have, then you're less than, or if you have, then there's an issue there either. It's saying, let's ensure that everyone is able and equipped to have the lifestyle and choices that they want in life, because that's what money gives us. It gives us choices. We get to choose where we live. We get to choose the types of food we eat. We get to choose the level of health care we can get. We get to choose where our kids go to school. Think about that. It gives us choices. And don't you want to have choices? Don't you want to have the maximum choices in your life? That if something ever happened to anyone around you, that you would be able to say, I got you covered. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Sharon Mathis, who was one of our previous speakers, and she's with Insurance Associates of Atlanta, often tells us is that we see a lot of GoFundMe accounts. A lot of GoFundMe accounts because people were not prepared. Well, we want you ladies to be prepared as you possibly can in all phases of your life, because we know that we live longer. And as we live longer, cost of living is going to increase. Our cost of healthy care is going to increase. And more than likely, 70% of women are going to be the sole financial provider of their household. So it's really important that we, again, not only bring our seats to the table, but have a voice at the table. And I believe that it's up to us who are currently in the financial lanes as a profession. I believe it's our fiduciary and moral responsibility to share our knowledge, to pass on the wealth of wisdom that we have, so that we can truly, truly elevate this global sisterhood. And I know that when we do that, we can create sustainable communities. We can create a more educated future generation. We can help to eradicate diseases, reduce hunger around the world. There's so much that we can do when we are empowered financially and empowered with the education and means to make the monies do what we want them to do. I invite you and encourage you all to join us at our Financial Wellness Boot Camp, November 6th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be amazing. You won't regret coming. You can go to bit.ly, that's bit.ly/money and women, and enter the code CELEBRATE. Enter the code CELEBRATE and get your tickets for $20. And guess what? At this event, each of the speakers will be giving away some amazing bonuses. You don't want to miss it. And we have a couple other giveaways too. We have 2 Visa gift cards that we'll be giving away. So it's going to be a win-win for all. And I'm just so excited and so honored to be a part of these financial experts. But more importantly, I'm honored for those of you who choose to join us. I'm honored to be one of the speakers, one of the trainers at the events, to share some of my knowledge, to share one of my stories, to give hope, to give insight, to inspire you to be the best version that you possibly can of yourself in all areas, including financially. And with that, if you want to contact me, because one of the things that we talk about at the Bradford Group that is so important and many women overlook, if you are a homeowner or thinking about owning a home, many people haven't heard of a financial wellness checkup when it comes to their mortgages. Your mortgage wellness checkup. It's a real thing. It's not made up. If you've never had one, I encourage you to get one. It's free. You can contact us at bradfordgroupmtg.com for your free mortgage wellness checkup. I'm not going to be trying to sell you a mortgage, but I want to make you aware of what this is and how it should be part of your annual, or at least biannual, financial review of where you stand. It's a valuable tool. It's just like you would take your annual physical. You want to do a mortgage wellness checkup and add that to your financial review, to the financial brush of your landscape that you do every single year. Hopefully you do it every single year, but if not, it's not too late to start. So again, you can reach us at the Bradford Group at bradfordgroupmtg.com and go to contact us, put in your name, number, and email, and just put free, and one of our loan advisors will get back with you and we will schedule this time with you. Don't worry, it is not about pulling your credit, but it's about having a conversation and giving you the pieces that you need to really understand what is happening in and around this largest purchase that you've made, called your home, or maybe it's your commercial business building, or maybe it's investment property. But just remember, you deserve your mortgage wellness checkup. It's free, so you don't want to miss out on that. And I am going to pause and play a little video here for you before we sign off. Ladies, again, join us November 6th for our 3rd annual Women Embracing Financial Wellness Boot Camp. You're going to be so glad that you joined us. And please spread the word. Again, go to bit.ly/money and women. Enter discount code CELEBRATE. Enter discount code CELEBRATE. And you can get your tickets for only $20. How great is that? We look forward to seeing you. And thank you again so very much for joining me for another edition of Business and Financial Raw Talk, a no-holds-barred forum for leaders and innovators. I am LaWanna Bradford, and I will be back again next week with another amazing guest. Until next time, be blessed, stay safe, and remember, when your vision aligns with opportunity, success is inevitable. Until next time, good night.